Life with Twilight Chapter 2, written by Lonart8100, also known as me. Well, Christmas has come and gone, and thankfully, I was able to get some help from my sister with educating Twilight. She was able to give Twilight some lessons that I otherwise couldn't provide, such as how to get fully dressed and how to bathe. I cannot begin to tell you how grateful I am for that. She even gave Twilight some clothes as Christmas presents. Coming right from her own design company, of course. Twilight's personal favorite is the magenta-colored purse, though I have no idea how or what she's going to use it for. So anyway, my sister and Twilight were the best of friends, until the holidays ended and Sis had to go back to work, leaving me here, alone with Twilight once again. I can now officially say this girl is driving me insane! Did I mention before that I don't have the money to support a roommate? Well, this is what I was talking about! This girl has tripled my food bill, and now I'm panicking about how I'm gonna survive the next month. Add insult to injury, she does nothing useful around the house while I'm away. I'm working my butt off going to school and trying to pay for the food we eat, and all she does is sit around the house, watching PBS. Yes, I said PBS. For kids. She says that she finds a number of the shows on the channel to be adorable, and for some reason, fascinating. Honestly, I'm really starting to rethink my theory about her being the real Twilight Sparkle. She seems far too dumb. So anyway, I finally decided to lay down the no work, no eat rule with her, and attempted to find her a job so she can help pay for a number of the bills on the table. I actually succeeded, 3 times to be exact, but she always wound up getting fired after just 1 week of work, which resulted in more headaches for me. So I figured maybe I could at least make her useful around the house until she can find a permanent job, if ever. So tonight, I decide to show her how to cook. I picked the easiest thing any kid in America can be taught. Mac and cheese. She actually does pretty well when we first start. But then she gets to the part where you need to pour it out of the pan into a colander. She grabs the pan and starts to move towards the kitchen sink, but then her thumb makes contact with the hot metal, resulting in her throwing the pan right into the oven's controls. The water then spills out and leaks into the cracks, causing the whole thing to short-circuit and burn out. God help me. So, I ordered pizza instead, which seemed to please Twilight. She deeply loves pizza, and has even been known to eat up to 8 slices at a time. Somehow she's able to eat so much, yet never seems to gain any weight. Where does it all go? So, I guess I should ask my sister if she'd give me an extra $500 to fix the oven. But I think I'll wait a few days. She always gets mad when I ask for more money, and besides, who knows what'll break next. Twilight apologizes non-stop for the next hour, with me containing my frustration by saying it's okay. Though she doesn't say anything, she seems to sense my frustration and goes to her room, figuring it best to leave me alone. The clock strikes 9 as I plop my head down on the kitchen table. All of this anger and frustration, and I still have to do my homework for tomorrow. To make matters worse, it's calculus. I don't even like the class. Matter of fact, I despise it with every fiber of my being. But it's required for my minor, and I'm failing. Reluctantly, I pull out the book and attempt to work, but my mind is too stuck on the broken oven to handle the already challenging problems. I stare at the first problem for what seems like an hour, with absolutely nothing going through my mind. I plop my face down on the page just as Twilight comes out of her room and then walks over to the table.
Hey, is that calculus?
She asks, stunning me with the question. What? I ask in return, slowly lifting my head from the book. Twilight takes a closer look at the problem I'm working on.
Yeah, it is. That first question's pretty easy.
Easy? I ask with a sarcastic tone. Hey, calculus is anything but easy.
Well, I understand it.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. This girl has to be taught how to tie her shoes, how to get dressed, and the aspect of basic hygiene, yet somehow she can understand calculus on her own? I decide to test her by having her solve the first problem. To my surprise, she simply accepts the challenge and starts writing on a piece of paper. In less than a minute, she's done. Work shown and all. I go and check the answer in the back of the book. And sure enough, she's right. How did you do this? I ask, still mind blown by what just happened.
Well, I hope you don't mind, but I got bored and read those books on the bottom shelf of your room. Sorry.
I then remembered that I keep my school books on the bottom shelf. She read them and understood them? That's when my whole brain just imploded in on itself. Exactly how much does this girl not remember? The basic necessities of life, such as bathing and clothing, do not apply, yet she can read, write, and understand my school books?
Do you want any help with the rest of those problems?
She asks, once again giving me that cute smile of hers. Yeah, that would be great, I say, still trying to overcome my shock. The two of us then got to work. Time just flew on by as I was blowing right through the problems like never before. She really knew her stuff, even on the more difficult questions, and actually found effective ways to show me how to figure them out for myself. When we were finally done, I saw the clock read 11:30, meaning we actually finished far sooner than I could have alone. I thank her for her help, and then ask where she learned to read and write. She simply smiles and gives credit PBS. I don't believe this. She just tuned into that channel about 8 weeks ago, yet she can already read at a college level. Then again, she is a young adult, so she must have a more capable brain. But doesn't one still need to learn the basics of words and the same pace, or... I don't know. I was giving myself another headache just thinking about this. As I stood there pondering, Twilight grabbed a snack from the pantry, told me goodnight, and walked back to her room. I gave a somewhat stunned reply as I struggled to maintain my mentality. The case was once again wide open. Could she be the real Twilight? She's definitely smart and quite able to understand all this information in less time than most people. Maybe it's all that pizza she eats. Maybe the calories go to her brain instead of her waist. Then again, is that even possible? I don't know. But either way, I really need some Advil for my pounding head.